What's up, everyone? So recently I was just walking on this trail and I met this guy, very interesting man, and I wanted him to have an opportunity to share his story with you all, just a little bit of advice, and yeah. So what is your name and where are you from?
My name is Samar Bhowmick. I'm originally from Bangladesh. I came here in 1970. I was in US Air Force for 20 years. I retired as full colonel, and then I'm a physician. Then I was University of South Alabama for 22 years, and now I am retired and moved to Charlotte. It's about 1.5 years ago. And now I used to run, but right now as I've gotten old, the walking is the best form of exercise for me.
Yeah.
So I found this dogwood park where I walk almost 5 miles every day, and is very quiet, and the trail is very friendly in the sense that if it is very hot outside and sun is very bright and the trails are shady, so you can walk through the trail without actually exposing yourself to the sun that much, and that's one thing we like. My wife also walks 4.5 miles every day. She comes early, and I come a little late.
Yeah. What is your name and how old are you?
I'm 76 years of age, and my name is Samar Bhowmick.
Samar Bhowmick.
And short name is Sam. They call me Sam.
Okay. So you said you're originally from Bangladesh and you also lived in India. And you said, when we were talking before I started this, you said that you moved here in the 70s, which is a pretty long time ago. So what is one big difference that you've seen from living in India as opposed to living here in America?
Well, I have been in many places. I did my initial training in Erie, Pennsylvania, and the biggest shocker was the temperature. The part of the Bangladesh and
temperature?
India, temperature,
Yeah.
very cold.
In Bangladesh?
No, here.
Oh, here.
Yeah. In India and Bangladesh, the Western Bengal, it's warm, just like pretty much like south.
Mm-hmm.
And so my first surprise was snow. I never saw snow in my life until I moved to Pennsylvania, and that's where Erie, Pennsylvania, stayed my.
Was it a hard adjustment?
A very hard adjustment, and I was very surprised by the big car. I never saw that big car, big road, and the breezes was humongous, lots of mile of breezes, and which I never saw before. And the people are very, very friendly and very accepting. It's just like, so I felt that part, social wise, I was very comfortable. However, it took some time for me to get adjusted with this weather.
Yeah, exactly.
Then I moved to Michigan, Detroit, another cold area. So after finishing my training, I decided to move to a place which will be kind of warm, pretty much like India, Bangladesh. And so I was in Alabama, I was in Mississippi when I was in the Air Force, Kislar Air Force Base. And so because of the actually temperature situation and the weather, I stayed in South for a long time.
Yeah. So so that the temperature brought you here to Charlotte.
Yeah. And the South also, I found the life is kind of slow. It's not as fast. And to tell you the truth, the people are much more friendly
than the South.
It's in the South.
Oh.
I'm not saying bad thing about the North, but South very, very helpful. And so we actually, me and my wife, we talked about that this is the places we want to be because weather-wise and the people are so helpful. And so that's one of the things. And now I retired about 1.5 years ago, and I moved here because my son is a pediatrician. He works here in Novant, and I have 3 grandchildren, 2 boys, they are 8 years old, and 1 little girl, 5 years old. So now I have moved close to them.
You mentioned here in the South, things are a little bit slower. When you lived in those other countries, was that type of environment slow as well, or is it more fast-paced?
Oh, America, I think it is more faster. I have traveled all over the world, and life in Europe, they are also very easygoing. They are sitting in the middle of the day in the cafe at the drinking coffee or beer or whatever. But the Americans are much more work oriented and than any other country in the world, I would say.
Do you think that's a negative thing?
Well, I don't know whether it is negative, but I think that some kind of relaxation and some kind of, just take it easy type of thing is probably decrease the stress level.
Yes.
So in that way, we are just go-getter going and try to get rich pretty fast and want to work. And so that I think is a bit negative.
Yeah.
Bit negative.
So now that you're retired now and you're taking it easy and you're going for your walks and stuff like that, do you think that mindset is something to adopt when you're younger, as opposed to being a workaholic until you're 65 and then you finally retire? Like, do you think that the younger generation should try to get in the mind state of being more still and enjoying nature and calming down and not being in such a rush?
My personal opinion is that enjoying nature is the way to increase the longevity. I think that your relationship with your friend or wife is also probably improved, because the stress is not only the killer, but it also make you think differently. You lose your temper quickly, and at the same time, you are always thinking that how I am going to get things achieved. The relaxation in your mind is far from is far away, and the nature is the way, because the Mother Nature has created this world, and God or whatever you like to believe, to enjoy walking and this hearing the birds are singing, the people are walking and people are laughing and smiling, that kind of gives me a lot of pleasure, and it is a good way of relaxing for me.
Yeah.
So as a physician, I would say that American in general work very hard, and I don't think they enjoy life as much as they should be. But it really does not have to be that way. It can be adjusted. If somebody really wants to. And I think the exercise, whatever form, whether you are jogging, running, or walking, or any kind of exercise, is very good for your not only health, also psychology, and also peace and tranquility of the mind.
Yeah. Do you recommend meditation?
Meditation is the very hard thing to do. However, it's probably the best thing in any country or anywhere. I really do not know how to meditate, because the true meditation takes a completely serene environment, and you have to get your mind completely off from your surroundings. I have never been able to do it, but I say the people have done it. But we actually have practiced meditation in management of some chronic disease, like a migraine headache. And so the Western medicine, we read in the book, the meditation is the best way of get you relaxed, and especially after the heart attack, heart disease, and bypass surgery, it's always a good idea to try to meditate. And it does not have to be very superpower meditation as you see in the different places. The people are sitting there. No, you just sit there and start slowly, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever it can take. But the meditation is definitely is many countries in the world, meditation, and many airports, they have got this place where you can do the yoga and meditation also. I have seen in Paris, I have seen in London, all the places.
Oh, so you're a well-traveled man.
Yes, I have traveled,
How many countries have you been to?
Well, you name it, I have been there. The lastly, about 3 weeks ago, I came back from Kenya.
Oh, wow.
My best place, the visited in the world is, obviously Europe is scenic, but I have visited Zimbabwe, Tanzania, Kenya, South Africa, Botswana, all African country. And you know that those people are very skinny like you, and they are so well behaved. And I think that people who have not gone to the Africa should go there and see. They may not have enough, but they really enjoy life. They are singing, dancing, and they are very, very happy. And the best people. Obviously, safari is one of the main things.
What did you say?
African safari. I went to Masai Mara, Serengeti, in Kruger National Park, all this. And so I really enjoyed. And I have been in Australia, New Zealand,
Wow.
Switzerland, you just name it. I have been in Croatia, Soviet Russia, in the Russia,
Yeah.
St. Petersburg, and all Scandinavian country.
Yeah. So I'm someone who does want to travel, just trying to like get myself going and like building up financially and stuff like that. So what is one thing about traveling? I have two questions. What is one thing about traveling that has opened your eyes up to a plethora of different, different point of views? And the second thing is, do you advise for younger people to start traveling now as opposed to waiting until they get older?
Well, I think the second question I will have to address first, because money is involved. The younger people don't have enough money.
Yeah.
But
it's the
if
struggle.
they can, you don't have to go very far. Even if you go from one state to another state, Canada, Mexico, in South America, they are not very far. It does not cost a lot of money. And you see, that will give you a feeling. This is the first question answer. The people, you are in one country and living one kind of society, and you really think that what you are doing, that's the right way to do. When you go to the different country, you meet the different people and how they live. I think that opens the horizon of your thinking process and how these people have made it and how happy they are with the less have and their culture. And you develop the respect for human being. The amount of this envy, and we don't like each other, like this racial difference, cultural difference, that the people thinking in a very different way, and which unfortunately in this country is something new I am seeing. And that you see how the people in Africa is not only African black people, there is Indian, there is 43 tribes in Kenya and 44 provinces, how they live together without fighting each other. And there is no communal riot, there is no racist this thing. I think they do exist, but the way they have handled, that kind of teach you that there are a lot of things we can learn from the different culture and different people. And it opens your mind. You really start thinking that there is more than one way of doing things.
Yeah.
So clearly it makes you a better person in my judgment.
Yeah.
Definitely a better person.
You become
And
more
the people
open-minded.
all over the world, they are great. Their government may be or corrupt or the crook or whatever, very different, but the people one to one, whether they are talking about the St. Peter, the Soviet Union, or Sweden or Kenya,
Yeah.
they are very nice people,
Yeah.
one to one.
So, in terms of, so you're saying that being a well-traveled person allowed you to understand and be more accepting of people who are different than you, even if they have a different, like lifestyle, not lifestyle, but like like a different worldview. You know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
And I like what you said about how you said when you live in a certain country, you tend to think that everything you do is the right way.
Kind of a stereotype.
And I know that living here in the U.S., there's like, and I'm not saying everyone's like this, but I think there's like an overarching subconscious view that living in the U.S. is the best place to be, and that we're doing everything better than everyone else because that's been perpetuated. But as someone who has lived in the U.S. for a long time, and you've also lived in all these other countries, you know that that's not necessarily true.
No, that is not true. I think the people truly that United States is definitely where all the culture, all the people of the world, it is a nation of immigrants, and they have come and they have all living together. That's good, that's great, and that's how it should be. But there are certain things you can learn from the different countries that will actually enrich your mind and your thinking process.
Yeah.
So what we do, what we say is not necessarily always right. In order to understand the other people's point of view, even their political thing, you talk to their people and then you will think that, they have a point. It's not, everything is not the one way. There is various way to approach the situation. You just like, so it's not the my way or the highway. It's not like that.
I was gonna say that I think that a lot of people tend to post judgment based on how you look. If someone's a different race or they look like they're from a different culture, you might think that they don't agree with you or that you have nothing in common, but you just never really know until you sit down and have a conversation with them, if you do feel comfortable doing that. So my last question for you, what is, out of just reflecting on your life in general, what is one major piece of advice that you would leave on this world for everyone that's like universal?
See, we all came to this world and our time is limited. We are not going to live forever. And we must use this time the best possible way we can by loving each other and by respecting the culture of other people, respecting the race and the religion. So whenever you at the end of the day, you say, well, what did I accomplish? I only came with narrow mind, this kind of thinking process. I'm going with the thinking process, and I have been influenced by the people who think like me, and I'm friend with them. But that's not how the humanity develops. That's not the civilization has developed. It has developed through accepting the other culture, their point of views, and staying. So, you and I, we just may not be we have a very different look and different culture.
Yeah.
But as a person and things like that, I love you. And that is the truth. And traveling all over the world, I found out that people, if you love each other and something, you go long way, and actually you become a much better person.
Yeah.
Much better person.
Yeah.
Both in terms of, the way you think, and you also sleep better at night knowing that, and I am not a racist, I am not a things, I try to understand, I read a lot and other things. So what I'm saying, it may not be acceptable to many, but the truth is that we are in the world and everybody has equal right to live in this world. It's not that I have more money so I live and you don't have as money and so you go and do like that. We have, the world belongs to us, and that is the humanity. Yeah. And we must make sure that it does not, go away in vain.
So, from what you're saying, do you also think that there's benefit in putting yourself out there and talking to people who may be from a different background than you? Because the thing is, we all believe differently, right? And everyone has their own way of lifestyle and whatnot. And one of the things that I try to do as a believer in the Most High, I follow God, I try to talk to other people from other cultures, because I know that although I may not agree with everything that they say or do, there's something they might say that could help me on my path and journey through this life. And I think that's something that a lot of people miss. They stay in their little bubble because, this person might be this religion or this person might be this political party, not understanding that we all live in this world and there's gonna be some common ground somewhere. So you can always learn something from someone else that you could use to help you propel and grow in life.
Absolutely, that is the truth.
So my last question, I know that I said the last one was the last one, but you mentioned you're a physician, so I know you know a lot about the body. What is a couple of daily practices, and I know you mentioned earlier walking, but just like, what are a couple daily practices that anyone can develop to help build up their immune system?
I think that exercise is very important, and the sleeping is very important. That you have to have the sleeping. If you don't sleep well at night, it's not. But there are some food, and that
can you speak up a little bit louder?
Food. There are certain food like fruits, vegetable, probably not as much as red meat. That also helps the immunity. But main thing is exercise and sleeping well and stress-free life. And I don't know how you can achieve that stress-free life, but that should be the goal. Stress is number one enemy of our our body.
Mhm.
Stress-free life.
Yeah.
And you have to practice. It's not easy. It's easy to say, but very difficult to do.
Yeah. I was reading a verse in the Bible the other day, and it was talking about, it was in Ecclesiastes, and I actually had put it in another video that I did, and it was talking about one of the gifts from God is for mankind to be able to enjoy the fruits of their labor and live an abundant and the word wasn't happy, but basically a happy life, you know. And I think, like, as we're going back to just society in general, it's so fast paced, right?
Yeah.
It's
Very much
moving,
so.
and there's so much noise, whether it's in politics, and all these people have all these different opinions about how you should live. But one of the things that I don't see anymore is people just being still and calming down, reducing stress levels, coming outside in nature, not being on your phone all the time, not always having something to say. So I think that just having that type of mindset does help you kind of alleviate stress as well.
Yeah, I agree. These are all, everybody agrees with that. But I will hope the next young generation, would come out of this computer and the cell phone and other thing and
Yeah.
try to walk and sit in the places like this and listen to the bird chirping and the sound of the water, running through the creek. And those are the things. Maybe I'm getting old, that's what I'm philosophical.
You're
but
in the right way. You're in the right way.
But that's what I feel.
Amen.
All people are good and they have come to this world. They think for themselves, they think for their children,
Yeah.
but they also start thinking for the other.
Yeah.
Because we are all here,
Yeah.
very temporarily. After few years, I won't be there, and many years of that you won't be here.
So the
things-
finite. So basically, what you're saying is knowing that this life is finite, and that one day you will be gone. You shouldn't always take things so seriously, and you should enjoy life and travel and do what you can.
Yeah, yes,
do
in
what
your
you can.
limitation, in your ability and so
Yeah.
forth. Obviously, you have to do what is you do. You have to do best. I, as a physician, I take care of my patient. I did everything that I could do. That was my teaching that time. That I will be a good physician, great physician, and this thing. But now that and then still I travel. It can be done. Is the mind over matters? People say, "Oh, I cannot travel." You can. There are places that you can go. Even coming here, you don't have to go very much
go
to
to
the
next-
country here.
You go 20 minutes away. Something
Right.
you've never done.
Right. So where there is a will, there is a way.
Yeah. There's a will. There's a way. I
Right.
like that. I like that. Thank you, man.
Thank
I
you.
really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.